citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You hiding corruption inside the cup, look how we evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up, you're hiding corruption.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cop. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Over to You. Hope everyone is hanging in and trying just to feel a bit better, okay? As most of you are aware that the Cooperative Republic of Guyana was on Thursday, the 24th day of April, 2025, thrown into mourning at the gruesome discovery of the body of young Adriana Young, 11-year-old Adriana Young. So while I welcome you all to the broadcast this evening, I ask that you do our normal little administrative thing that we do. Share the live broadcast, share the live broadcast. Up front, I want to let you know that there's a chance that we may go a bit over this evening. We have quite a few guests will be stopping in this evening, including a family member of young Adriana Young, social media activist Melissa Atwell, also known as Melly Mel, will be stopping in this evening. Also, we will have social media activists and talk show host of Straight Up, Mark Anthony Benchcop, will be joining me live here also. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to deal with this evening. Okay, let's go ahead and share the broadcast, like the program. Share the broadcast, like the program. Lots to deal with. Okay, a lot to deal with this evening. So please, I'll give you some time to share broadcast and like the program. William Bill Cato is off the early start this evening. I urge all aggrieved person to go out and vote come elections day. Vote these demons out of office. I hope that we will touch on this because a lot of people try to say that this is not political. We don't want to make it too political, but hey, somehow this is going to lead up to the government. But we will get there. We will get there this evening. Okay, everything is gonna tie out this evening. All right. There's a lot of updates with this case. There's a lot of ongoing updates, and the plan is to bring you guys, up to date as much as we can. I know there have been a lot of protests across the country. Particularly, I saw the people of Belgium was out there in their numbers protesting. Like I said, the entire country was thrown into mourning. Not just Region 3, but the entire country was thrown into mourning, and rightfully so. A young lady, young, can't even call her a lady. She is a young girl. She is merely 11 years old. And from my understanding, would have just sat the common entrance examination. Not even an opportunity to get back her results. Like all the other young 11-year-olds and 10-year-olds that will be sitting common entrance, she had to put in her work, right, to get ready for those examinations. And to know that she would never see those results is very, 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 very sad. And I want to say a very good evening, especially, look, it's important, men and women, it is important, but the women, I have gotten so many calls from mothers, and they're saying, Wayne, our heart hurts. Our heart hurts. And I can't look. Men, we would never understand what bearing a child is like. Okay? But we understand what being a father is. Right? And fathers do have that special relationship with their daughters. All right? And mothers, of course, the child comes from the mother. Okay? The child comes from the mother. All right? I know by now many of us would have heard about the occupations of these two individuals. And I heard the father come out and he said, I'm not the smartest guy. I cannot read and write too properly. But my brother, I want to say this to you, man. I love you, my brother. Because you know something? It's not all about knowing to read and write. It's about honesty. It's about integrity. And brother, you worked hard. From the word that I've gotten on the ground is that you're a hard-working young man. And that says it all. That says it all in a nutshell. And to the mother, I heard about her also. These are two hard-working people. They don't have the big-time jobs, and that's to tell you how hard they have to work to make ends meet, to raise their, I believe it is 3 children that they have. And then to know that you have raised your daughter to the age of 11. Okay? And she is just taken away from you. That hurts. Okay? Because we know the struggle that these 2 young people have gone through to raise their children. Right? And they will get justice. It's mandatory. It is mandatory that this family must have justice. It's not a question where, and swift justice. Swift justice, let me say this, swift. It must be swift, all right? As long as I have breath in my body and I am hosting programs, that young girl, Adriana Young, her name will never leave my mind. I will utter and evoke her name every opportunity I get. Her death will not be in vain. Her death must, Guyanese, I speak to all Guyanese, her death must bring about change. It must bring about change. It is mandatory that it brings about change. The Guyana Police Force, and we're going to get into this in more detail as the guests start to chime in onto the program and join on. You have failed the people of Guyana. Just maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks removed from 2 young men being executed in Linden, and here we go again. I believe the first guest is ready to come in. Lemon, please assist me with getting the first guest onto the program, please. As soon as Lemon is able to get that done, we will have the first guest in on the broadcast. In the interim, though, as we await the Guyana Police Force. There's a lot of questions. There is so much questions that you guys have to answer. And we will be awaiting those answers. We, the people. Good evening, Mr. Benchcop, and welcome to over to you, sir. How are you? How are you coping this evening? How are you doing?
Not too bad. Can't complain. It's just one of those evenings. It's just it's a bit of rain that we have at this end of the world. I'm not sure where you are, but at my end of the world, it's raining a little bit. And I've observed that even in Guyana, it's raining a little bit as well. And let me just take this time out to say good evening, even though lots of people are mourning with the family members of that little girl, Adriana Young, that was murdered. And of course, under questionable circumstances, we're still awaiting the autopsy report. So yes, I can't complain. I just... people are just shocked at the hypocrisy. People are just shocked at the manner in which the installed PPP regime is attempting to cover up this. But because of the vigilance of these individuals, whether on the ground or on social media, I tell you what, Jack Day and Irfan and all those vagabonds in the PPP regime have been caught with their pants down.
You could not have said that any better. Yes, and Mark, you hit on a point there. I must say, man, kudos to the family and friends. Sometimes, a family would want to stand strong, but would back down from time to time because they don't have that additional support. But I must say that this family had that support. Their friends rallied around with them. The community rallied around with them, Mark. And, when you look at the whole issue here, and you see, you saw some critical decisions that were made by that family and their friends. And one of the most critical decisions, I thought, was not to leave that hotel. Not to leave that hotel. Remain there. Remain vigilant. Okay? Remain there. Remain vigilant. That's what they do. That's what they did. Although, Mr. Benchcop, we had a command on the ground showing them videos indicating that the little girl got into a car and went towards Vreeden Hoop. Thank you so much, Lemon. Thank you so much, guys. Here you go. They could have fell for that, and they could have all left the area and went towards Vreeden Hoop, looking for the car and the young girl, and then the body would have been probably removed from the hotel, thrown in a nearby canal, or staged somewhere else. But I must say, kudos to the family and the community as a whole. Excellent job. Well done. Well done. Also, Mr. Benchcop, what's your thoughts that a lot of people are indicating that, They should not have burned the hotel. A lot of the evidence has been burned and destroyed. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't want to give my mouth liberty. Nobody knows who burnt the hotel. Of course, they're going to want to jump to say that it was the folks who were calling out and crying out for justice. Nobody knows exactly how the hotel was burned. It could have been self-inflicted wound, so to speak. It could have been from right within there. We can continue to speculate, and I'm not going to put blame and say that it was the people who were crying out for justice are the ones who did that. Certainly, I'm not going to. I'm not at liberty to do that, and I don't want to give my mouth any sort of liberty. We just await the conclusion of the investigations. And speaking of the investigations, it has to be an independent investigation to find out where exactly this fire started. And maybe at some point in time, the fire chief would get there, and the fire chief, the only fire chief that they have in Guyana right now is Robeson Ben, who has been missing in action. And so I don't, at this point in time, wish to say who started the fire. But what I'm almost certain, just my opinion, that it could have been a self-inflicted wound by someone who is connected to the hotel, attempted to, and obviously to burn whatever evidence that was in place. That's just my take on it.
Well said, Mr. Benchcop. And just to add a little to what you said, you know, a lot of the evidence, I believe, lies with that body. Okay? A lot of the evidence is with that body. Okay? And once we receive that pathology report, the autopsy report, you know, a lot will come to the forefront once that report is received. We know for sure that, you know, this young lady could not have drowned because the pool was searched on several occasions. So I believe it is safe to eliminate drowning at this moment. But we still wait to see, you know, what the autopsy report is going to give us. And one thing I must also say, kudos to the legal team and all involved. Okay, there is, you know, an update with regards to who is going to be the pathologist, because of course the PPP had requested a pathologist, right? But the family went the independent way, and you're going to have Dr. Gary L. Collins, MD, Chief Medical Examiner for the state of Delaware in the USA here, will be arriving tomorrow, Sunday, to perform the autopsy on young Adriana Young. You know, this is so sad.
Wayne, it is sad indeed, and all of your viewers understand how sad it is. In fact, we have on the line the aunt of the maternal aunt of the 11-year-old little girl who was murdered, and of course she has a name, Adriana Young. We have her aunt is on with us, Miss Lois. Let me just, before we bring her on, that this young lady actually is the one who confronted Irfan Ali, the installed president, confronted him with the truth. Here it is before we get to her.
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that
Mr. Ali, I saw you block your road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling
Mr.
you.
Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we gotta put our position aside.
No, this is not position.
We gotta put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You got to understand, even those persons who were traveling, yes, they were inconvenienced, but they understood the reason. They understood the reason. We understand the inconvenience.
All right, so when you heard, that's the young lady, Miss Lois. She's on the line with us this evening. Let's begin first by saying we don't want to start off with a good night, but let's extend our condolences to you and your entire family, Miss Lois.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let me ask you right off the bat, how did you feel when you basically confronted Mr. Irfan Ali with the truth in reminding him that he did the same thing that he's accusing people of doing? How did you feel at that point?
I don't know if I should say I feel a way, but what I wanted Mr. Ali to understand is that when people are placed in certain situations, they will react, all right, or they will act in a certain way. So it was just me reminding Mr. Ali that, when he was in a similar situation, well, I shouldn't say a similar situation, but he also expressed frustration in the same way as our supporters and as we have expressed our frustrations because of the gruesome murder of my niece, Adriana Young. So it wasn't an attempt to gain any kind of popularity or anything. I'm just asking Mr. Ali to think about how we feel, how the ordinary people feel, how the family feels, and how we are affected by this. And just to remind him that he too, as I said before, has the capability, all right, of expressing himself in the same manner as we have seen. Well, I saw the video last night, and after I came home from the protest, I saw the video of Mr. Ali protesting. And so I just, it was fresh in my mind. So it just came and I reminded him of that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Wayne. I see you're very proud of exactly how she was able to remind him of that.
Yes. And I must say, my deepest condolences to you, Miss Lewis, and your entire family. And I want to in advance take the opportunity for thanking you for taking the time for joining us this evening. What I saw the installed president attempting to do was to indicate to you and your sister, that it should be business as usual. Okay. And I just love the way you belled the cat and you ups him right there. Okay. You took something that he did, his own past, and actually used it against him beautifully. And like you said, it just came out. And sometimes that's the best way, when things just come out, when you just speak without even giving too much thought to things. Sometimes that's the best way. A lot of times it's not, but sometimes it is. I just want to ask you the question as to how is the mother and father doing at this time? Can you?
Yes, I can shed some light on it. Beyond devastated is the term that I would use to describe what my little sister, and she is my little sister. She's our baby. My mom got her when I was 15 years old. So she's very dear to us. I papered her exercise and textbooks even when she was going to secondary school. And even when, I had my own children, I still used to take care of our textbooks, buy our textbooks, paper them, plastic them, and give it to them. So it breaks my heart to see my sister so devastated, beyond devastated, broken, and my brother-in-law, I was talking with him, he has long hair, and he started to grow his hair when he got his daughter. He was so proud of her. That's their first child. So beyond devastated, that's the term that I would use to describe what my brother-in-law, Sir Brian Young, and my sister, Amicia Simon, what they're experiencing at this moment. I do not wish it on anyone else. This is horrible.
Horrible. Wayne, let me just remind you, because we just got to know that Miss Lewis just have a couple of minutes because she has another engagement there in the community to attend to. But I just wanted, I just wanted her to. Can you briefly describe 11-year-old Adriana?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, great. So now Adriana liked to laugh. She liked to check in. So I would call sometimes. I would call her. No, I would leave her mom a message, a voice note. And then she would call. She said, Auntie Amiko, it's not mommy, you know. Mommy leave her phone at home, and then she would, you know, call, and or she would send a set of voice messages to find out how my children are doing and when we're going to come, and when they're going to come at us. Jovial, happy, quiet, peaceful, loving, a mother figure to her younger siblings, Gabriella and Said. Just a calm child, very calm child, the typical firstborn child, you know, that you know of. Because Adriana, timid. I would also say timid because her younger sister, the sister that follows her, is the one who usually had to represent her on many occasions when she was being bullied at school or in the school bus that they traveled to and from schooling. So just a loving, caring child.
Thank you so much, Miss Lewis. I believe that this is going to be my final question for you because I know that you have another engagement to go to. At this time, what level of confidence do you have in the Guyana police force?
Well, right across the media, and as I said earlier today when we were speaking with Mr. Ali and Mr. Mosley, our level of confidence is zero, minus zero, all right, because of the hand that we were dealt, all right? So we have absolutely no confidence at all.
Well said.
Yep. What is the mood like on the ground right now? We saw over the past few days, and the people are standing up and standing with the family in terms of seeking justice. But what's the mood like now in the entire community?
All right. So everyone is very, very sad. I have gotten so many calls. I've gotten persons from my bank come and meet us there and, you know, just express how saddened they are. People are afraid to send their children out. People have canceled parties for their children, for their child, and for their children that they had. People are sleeping, having their children sleep in the same, mothers are having their children sleep in the same beds with them, and including myself. I usually like to sleep alone. My children, my 11-year-old son and my 9-year-old son, you know, last night I had to hug them a little closer, and persons have been expressing those same sentiments. People are also outraged at what has happened, outraged at the police, the actions and the inactions of the police force, and the lack of empathy that was shown to this family. People are saddened, people are afraid, they're fearful for their children. You know, it's just a horrible, horrible time in Guyana.
Wayne, before she goes that, because I wanted to just ask how does she feel now that there's someone that is far more independent in terms of
autopsy?
Yeah, for the autopsy.
All right. So the family, and I when I say, let me just not say me, but the family, we feel confident that, you know, the autopsy will be transparent, and whatever are the primary or secondary causes of death that will be discovered will be the truth. So we feel confident, all right, going forward with this. we also, would like to have independent investigation into them, not just the autopsy. We're not just talking about the autopsy, but we also wish to have independent investigation of this matter in general.
Yes, I believe it's, I'm not sure it's you. It might have been your other sister that recommended that the FBI comes in and conduct this investigation. And I am totally on board and agree with that. The Guyana police force is not competent enough, and I would lay my confidence behind the RSS. I believe the FBI would be the best suited, and I hope that you guys get that wish.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amika. Miss Lewis, give our regards, and not just our regards, but the hundreds of folks who are watching this program right now. Our hearts are with you guys and the entire family. Our prayers are with you guys as well.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for having me. And I just want the persons who are listening, please lend this family your support. We want to reiterate that, these kinds of things must stop. And we want to let you know that, it could be somebody that is close to you as well. So just lend us your support us in getting justice for Adriana, my niece, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful niece, who was savagely murdered, and just taken from us. So lend us your support.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lewis. Thank you.
All right.
So there you have it, the aunt of Adriana Young, Miss Lewis, there with us. Mark, do you have a take? Do you want to add anything there?
Yep, and I think I'm loving this in a sense that these are people, family members, and even members within the community. They're not afraid to confront. They're not afraid to stand up and seek justice. Some things I seldomly see this. Usually, whenever there's a situation, government officials or whatever feel that they can bully their way. I'm not seeing that happening here at all. And I was so proud of that young lady that was just on, who was able to confront Irfan Ali and reminded Irfan Ali, if our operator can play that video that was played earlier, about, reminding Irfan Ali that he also wants block road, block cars, and all manner of things. Is your operator there?
Yes, Lemon is there, Mark.
Go when you're ready. You can speak loud, right?
Good afternoon. So I'm calling for an...
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that
Mr. Ali, I saw you blocking road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling
Mr.
you,
Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we got to put our position aside.
No, this is not position.
No, we got to put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You got to understand, even those persons who were traveling, yes, they were inconvenienced, but they understood the reason. They understood the reason. We understand the inconvenience.
This installed president, he just loves to bully people. When he comes and he sits down with a family after a tragedy, and he's been doing that. Look at him going into Linden, trying to sweet talk the families and all this type of stuff. After those two young men was savagely murdered too, right? He goes in and he tries to sweet talk and calm families. No, you're a hypocrite. You understand me? What you're saying when you go in and speak to those families does not come from the heart, Irfan Ali. All right? If this is to be investigated completely, a complete, authentic investigation, it may end up showing that you guys are in contact and all of you guys are friends, hotel owner and everybody. if they decide to track all of you guys' phones without wiping any of those phones or anything of that nature, the things that we may uncover, right? I'm going to use, this is not the opinion of Benchop Radio, but this is just my honest opinion, that when the dust is settled here, everything is going to go right through the Guyana police force and filter right up to government. All right. So while you don't want to make this a political situation, politics is going to tie into it. Politics is going to tie into it. Okay. I thought it was beautiful what that aunt's response to Irfan Ali, just putting him right back on his back foot, you know, and he's saying that he believes now that the protest is politically motivated and that they are going to deal with the protesters. Well, go right ahead. It's going to probably end up being a two-way street because these people are not showing that they are going to stop. And I have warned on Thursday's program, because we were live when this young woman's body was discovered, that the police should allow the Guyanese public the latitude of space. Okay, they're in a position right now where they feel as if they were disenfranchised by their own police force. Okay, so you have to allow the people their space, okay, to vent. But if you want to play that you're going to lock down country and all of that stuff, look, hey, all I'm going to say is that the masses always win out. The masses always win out. And Mark, one of the things I want to point out and ask you your opinion on, I saw there were a few vehicles from the sheriff group that was trying to pass through the area. And I saw these men that were all masked up. You can only see their eyes. Is that legal that people can walk around like that armed? You know, to the extent these individuals shoot somebody, you don't know who would have shot that person because you cannot recognize who the person is. What is your take on that? Is that because it just looked like Middle East terrorism? Please help me.
First of all, it was an act of provocation, because if the police, who is the legitimate agency to protect and serve, if they're there, they weren't protecting and serving. Otherwise, the little girl possibly would have been alive today. But the action by sheriff security was basically provocative, was to go into that area to show that they have that authority to just drive past like that. They're not an arm of the police force. They're just basically security guards, a security guard agency that should not have been allowed to do that. They're not there to help the police to solve crime. They're not there to protect and serve. They should not have been able to do that. And so it was an act of provocation. It could have gotten out of hand, but thankfully the protesters, or those individuals who have lent their support in times of need to this Mourning family, the sheriff security guys were able to get out there. Probably in any other part of the world, that sort of provocation would not have been accepted. And so they had no legal right in the midst of an ongoing investigation to drive past there with their sirens and so forth. It was an act of provocation.
And I want to further, add to the question. Do you agree with the way that these individuals who work for the sheriff corporation presents themselves?
Well, not just the sheriff. There have been others with huge guns. It's something that I've been complaining about for years in Guyana. Even Mohammed's enterprise, at one point in time, they had sophisticated weapons, far more sophisticated than the police force. And anytime you drive past their place on Lombard Street, you will see all of that. And since then, I was saying it is wrong. You just cannot do that. Guards, security guards should be security guards, yes. But you cannot have all those high-powered weapons flashing it and intimidating people. You're a security agency. You're not an arm of the law enforcement of any government of a country. And so these things are wrong. So it's not just sheriff. There are others who are just like that. So I'm not just going to just confine it to sheriff alone. It is something that has been allowed under this corrupt regime, and it has got to stop.
Well, you know, you don't have to answer the question, Mr. Bencha, but I'm going to throw it out there, because since we're there, let's go there. Are these security agencies an arm of the PPPC?
Well, that has been a question that's been asked for many years, and the answer to that question is it's pretty obvious. It's what they have been doing. They have been setting up these private security agencies in order to defend them, the PPP, and they drive around with big guns. It is a way to legitimately hand out guns to the support base. That is what it is. A lot of those guys have a criminal background. A lot of those guys are basically, out there to do the biddings of the corrupt PPP regime. So if, for example, they can go in an entire community and give them guns, what they do is they have these guys apply for security licenses. And once you get a security license, you're allowed to have about 100 guns. In the case of Sharif and them, I don't think there's a limit. They're probably allowed to carry hundreds of guns. And they screen the individuals and decide on who gets the gun and who doesn't get the gun and so forth. So the bulk of those security firms have been approved and licensed by the PPP regime. And in answering your question again in a nutshell, yes, to become an arm of the PPP regime.
Thank you so much, Mark, for painting that picture for the people of Guyana. And I hope that those listening on the ground in Guyana is understanding what is happening right here. But Mark, I'm going to pivot back quick to young Adriana Young here and the consistent protests that we have been seeing, Mr. Benchcop. Look, protest is a right of the people, right? You cannot deny them from doing that. It is their right. Okay? And
no, they have to protest. Look, wait, if those people, and I don't want to call them protesters, they weren't protesters when they started. They were just seeking answers. And people believe that because people are seeking answers and they want to get to the bottom of the situation, they call them protesters. Those people were not protesters. They were basically giving a helping hand, lending a helping hand to the family who were seeking answers. Where was the little girl? And they were basically a search party, so to speak. They weren't protesters. Had it not been for those people out there, the mother, the father, and other members in the community and others who saw and went down there, I don't think there was a possibility that the little girl's body would have been discovered. There was a plan, a sinister plan after she was killed, was to basically find a way to dispose of the body. This explains why the policeman, that commander, was actually trying to divert attention and showing this is one of the family friend or a relative of the family. And I think that's the mother there or the aunt showing this is a senior police officer, a commander of the division is saying, look, you guys go home. We got this thing under control. Look, the little girl, she left the hotel. She's not at the hotel. Why was this senior cop, who has since been sent on administrative leave as of today, why was he attempting to convince family members that the little girl left the hotel and therefore they should now go home and await the police to do their job? The family and friends insisted that they're not going anywhere. Was this senior cop, Mr. Manlal, was he attempting to divert attention to cover up this crime, maybe for the owner of the hotel? These are just questions I'm asking. I'm not saying anybody is guilty, but I'm just asking questions. And the people had a sense as to what was going on.
And Mark, those are excellent questions. And I was looking through the comments earlier, and I saw a comment by Mr. Victor Ben that says, Wayne, they were diverting the people to follow the trail heading towards Breeding Hoop, searching for this car with the girl, and they probably would have took the body and cremated it without anybody knowing. Hey, that could be an option. You want a body to disappear? Hey, that can be something, and good point, Mr. Ben. Very, very good point.
Mark, so much things that they wanted to do, and Victor and others, and I see a lot of other points here, but Victor is on point that the objective was basically to have that body removed from the hotel and take it somewhere else so that it can be disappeared. I spoke to several doctors. In fact, one should have been on this evening. I'm not sure if that doctor made contact with you, but one of the doctors should have been on to talk about the situation, and to talk about the situation to let people know that, look, the circumstances was basically how this little girl died. And I'm not sure if our operator has a photograph, but there it is. Thank you. So now, Wayne, what the doctor was explaining, and the doctor basically said, and mind you to say good evening to you as well. Thank you, Doc. Who's watching is the doctor prefers that the pathologist to make a final conclusion, and I respect that.
Yes.
Yes. However, it is consistent with the victim lying on her stomach, and she was suffocated. What explains about the cotton wool in her nose was to basically block her from breathing, stifling her. And the other stuff, the marks on her body, which appears to be some sort of chemical, more likely bleach, was basically done to remove the blood stains, and maybe blood stains from her legs going down to her knees and so forth and so on. Look, we're all adults. Read between the lines here. Why whoever did what they did to remove the blood stains from her body, this is going to be gruesome. And I say this not wanting to be insensitive. The autopsy is going to be gruesome, because you're not going to just grab somebody just like that because you see them swimming and just kill them. There is far more to this story, and that is why I am happy that there is an independent, not relying on the pathologist that Irfan Ali and the PPP regime chose. That the family and the family lawyer, they have decided that, look, they need someone else. And they found someone else, Wayne. Someone else that they found has years of experience. I believe he's from Trinidad and Tobago. He has worked in Philadelphia. He's currently the chief medical examiner of the U.S., of course, the state of Delaware. Now, he will conduct this independent autopsy. And people are happy. People are confident in him, Dr. Gary L. Cummings. Now, Dr. Collins, who is currently serving he was the deputy for the city of Philadelphia, has performed thousands of autopsies, certifying the manner and cause of death in more than 4,000 cases. At the time this information was given, as second in command, now he's no longer second in command, but as second in command for the past 2 years, he has supervised the operations of the medical examiner's office while collaborating with other staff, overseeing the forensic investigators and autopsy. So this guy comes with lots and lots of experience. Your take on him, on this move here by the family and the lawyer?
Well, Mark, like I would have said earlier, it's an excellent, well-calculated move. Here you have somebody with, like you said, the experience. And look, not to put down the city of Philadelphia, Mark, you know the amount of homicides that city deals with, right? So you know that he has seen just about everything. So he comes with a lot of competency. He's a very competent operator. So this is a very, very, very good thing for the family. But Mark, I want to dig in here quickly in the comments here, and so that our listeners and viewers could know that, hey, you guys are involved here too. I see Gully God is saying GCOM must take full responsibility for the suffering of Guyanese. I am seeing Beverly Ann Romaine. She is saying he should have been dismissed. What she's trying to say is that Commander, Hicken, Robeson Ben, all of these people, Mark, need to be retired. They need to be retired. And look, I cannot disagree with these statements. I cannot, right? Because look, these things don't just happen. All right, there is cause and effect. There is cause and effect. If the Guyanese people, if their democracy, their right to democracy would have been hijacked, by an agency like GCOM, how can they choose? How can they choose to make life better for themselves if it's not a fair process? But I don't want to bring that fully in. But I just want to say, wait, these people are tying out. What our listeners and viewers are doing, they are tying in everything, cause and effect.
So just want to make it clear as we stay with the pathologist. The issue with this pathologist is that he has had a working relationship with the PPP. And as a result of that working relationship, the family members, and rightly so, there are people who are uncomfortable with this sort of arrangement. Hence the reason that the people have asked for an independent pathologist. And hence come this guy, Dr. Collins, and the people are far more comfortable with Dr. Collins conducting that autopsy on the 11-year-old girl, and rightly so. And we are not questioning the qualifications of this doctor. However, what we are questioning is his relationship with the PPP. And based on that, it is difficult for him to be considered independent. So we welcome Dr. Gary Collins conducting. Let us hope that before he gets there, that nothing is tampered with the body. I notice you have somebody else has joined us there.
Hello, Mark. Good evening.
Hi, Wayne. Yep, I know. Hi, Melly Mel. How are you doing?
Good evening. I am good. Are you guys hearing me?
I see. Yeah, we're hearing you. We see that you are. We like your hairstyle. It looks good. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wayne, you have a first question to knock off with Melly Mel before we get in. She has an announcement to make. Any questions?
Sure. Well, Melissa, good evening and welcome to Over to You.
Hi, good evening, Wayne. How are you?
I am doing fine, thank you. And I hope that you're doing just as well. Doing good, dealing with what we're dealing with here, Melissa. Dealing with what we're dealing here.
I know it's a really sad situation. Real sad. Like I couldn't, I never thought that, somebody else's child that I've never even met or don't even know would have had me up like literally 2 nights straight, just thinking about, what happened and what possibility could have happened, how we could have saved her, how she could have been saved, how the police could have done it, so many things. And I think what broke my heart the most and what made, I just wanted to ask, what made her killers or her murderers so comfortable? Because it couldn't have been long before her grandmother discovered that she was missing, because she, according to, her family member, she went to buy the band. They realized she didn't come back from purchasing the band to put in her hand, and they started looking for her. So which means it wasn't like, she was missing for hours and they couldn't find her. Like, it was as soon as she went missing, they started looking for her within a couple of minutes or so. And it's funny to me because to myself thinking that I didn't think they killed her right away when the family now started looking for her. They didn't kill her then, which means they had this young lady alive and they killed her while the Guyana police force stand guard outside, while her parents are outside, while her grandmother's outside, while the village is outside, while her family and her friends, and while people are live on social media. It's crazy that they would still carry out that they would still carry out the act of murdering this child, knowing that the world was watching them, which makes me want to question, how is it that these people are so comfortable or so confident that they would have gotten away with this murder, giving everything that I just said? It's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. We basically just witnessed a child got murdered live. We just didn't know when, at the exact time, but she was being murdered while the police were out there standing guard, while her parents were outside. That child was being murdered in that hotel. I don't know. I can't, like, Mark, Wayne, I can't make sense of this. I really and truly can't. I've been struggling to make it make sense.
Yeah. I know you saw the senior policeman for that region, the Commander Mandel, showing the family and friends a video on his phone, trying to convince them that the little girl left and that they should go home. What is your take on that, please, ma'am?
Mark, I am so happy that let me just say this. I want to give a shout out to Laura. Every community in Guyana needs a Laura. So shout out to Laura. And I want to say a special good night to, the villagers and persons that were there, because you know what? They're the real MVP. Right. And I know we didn't get the results. We were hoping that we got the young lady back, that we got the child back alive or what, nothing. But you never know. Maybe if they didn't stay out there, we probably would have never we would have never discovered the body. So I want to say shout out to the village for refusing. Mark, they refused to move. So I want to say a big shout out to the village, everybody that was out there that was protesting, every single one of you that refused to move, we forever grateful. We thank you. Y'all played a major role in this. Y'all helped them to not cover up this crime, because I think what happened, Mark, the intention was to, of course, and here's the funny thing. Why move a police officer? You move a police officer that was just involved in such a major cover-up of a child's murder. Y'all didn't even have the decency to send him an administrative leave. Y'all just move him to another department. It's still when people started saying, wait a minute, y'all just move this guy. Mind you, this is like the second or third time they moved this guy. He was the same guy that was there with the Henry Boys murder, I heard. Then he was the same guy that was there with the 20 children that was burnt in Madhya, and then now here with this same instance. And I've been getting one thing about this particular police officers. He takes money from anybody for anything. He ain't got conscience. And clearly in this case where a child is involved, you think some of us will draw the line when it comes to children, when it comes to a child? Clearly not. They said that this guy just take money to cover up anything, to do anything. That's his job. He just send the junior ranks out on the road to bring in the bribe money. He about that life, Mark.
And so one of the things that we have been hearing those serious allegations about him. In fact, when he left the presidential guard in that senior position during the coalition under questionable circumstances, and of course he didn't reveal that there was an accident and didn't realize it was going to be revealed, but he left under those circumstances and more. And so he left the Region 5 under questionable circumstances, as you mentioned, the Henry Boys murders, when he was second in command. And then Bartica, 20 young kids lost their lives. And now in Region 3,
and then this one here, where he was blatantly and clearly trying to get the parents and the people to move from the hotel. He was basically telling them, oh, go home. Like, why would you, we found a little girl, you guys should go home. It don't make sense keeping sugar, come back. All kind of things. He tried his best to make to encourage the parents and these villagers to move from this hotel. The people refused to move. I don't know how true it is, but I heard somebody whispered, one of the police that was there, that was working, that wanted. And mind you, Mark, let me just say this: there were police that were on that location, that was on that murder scene, that was on that site, that wanted to do their jobs. They wanted to do their jobs, but when you live in a society, when you have a government that victimize you for doing your job, just because the person that you may have offended while doing your job is a friend or family of them, that is where we have an issue. And everybody's saying, oh, it's not about politics, and we can't make it about politics, and we can't make it about this. It is about politics, because if the police was acting independently and they were in a society or in a country where when a crime happened, they go out there, they solve the crime regardless of race, regardless of face, regardless of relations to whoever, which political party, which president, whoever, if they are allowed to carry out their job on a daily basis in that manner, then this wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have been afraid to go into that hotel, first of all. First of all, I heard the police were sent to guard the hotel and not look for the little girl. Let me just get that straight. They were first sent to guard the hotel, Mark. Not to look for that little girl, no. To guard the owner of the hotel and to protect his property from the people outside. They were sent there to guard. They weren't sent there to look for that little girl.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious, of course, protecting their friends. And we have reports that there's a possibility, and maybe the commander and Irfan Ali can say whether they were in touch at the time the little girl was missing, whether they were in touch with the owner of the hotel. And they can probably show their phone log. Wayne, have you been hearing that as well?
Mark, you know they're not going to do that.
Yes, I've been hearing that, but I think Melissa's just answered the question straight there. They're not going to do that, because that is going to open a massive Pandora box. So they are not going to do that. And you see, that is the problem right there. And I was going to ask Melissa the question. Melissa, what's your take on how the government has handled this? What's your take?
My take on how they handle everything, Wayne. Handle what? Yes. What exactly have they been? When have this government handled anything in the last 4 years? When have this government handled anything? When have this government fixed anything? When have this government tried to solve anything that doesn't involve covering their friends and family?
Well put, Melissa. And this is
they haven't been solving anything. They're not interested. This government is not interested in solving anything. This government, women and children are being killed daily, being abused, assault daily. Myself, I've been calling for so many things. There's so many things that they have the resources at hand. It's not like they don't. It's not like they don't have the resources. They have the resources. They have the money. They would just rather spend the money elsewhere, where, of course, again, back to friends and family, where their friends and family could benefit. If it's not a project, if it's not a situation, if it's not a campaign where somebody for the government benefiting financially, then they're not interested. If it's not for photo op, if it's not for political mileage, and if it's not a situation or a campaign or anything that where the government, friends, and family is not benefiting, they're not interested. They're not interested in it.
And that's pretty much how you sum this corrupt PPP regime. We have been seeing. That is how you sum them up. Yeah, we have been seeing the corrupt set of kunumunus, as we would say. But when you look around the country and even outside of Guyana, people are hurt. I know there are 3 other women who lost their lives up the Linden-Soesdijk Highway as well. Let's not forget about that, and the 2 lives out in Linden. But with this 11-year-old, people are really, really hurt about this situation. They have candlelight vigil currently in Guyana. They had a small protest out in New Jersey as well. What's happening in New York, Melissa?
Mark, well, there will be one tomorrow at 6. For those of you that are listening, if you're interested, we have a candlelight vigil for for the child tomorrow is going to be at 6 p.m. So I'm guessing if you come off of work, you can just stop. We're just going to be there for like what, an hour, Mark?
Tomorrow is in Sunday or Monday?
I'm sorry, Monday, not tomorrow, Monday after work. We're gonna do a small candlelight vigil. Mark, where's the location on Rod?
It's in Brooklyn, of course. It's on Church Avenue between Bedford and Rogers Avenue. But it's right at that church, right? It's more between. I think it's a place. There's a small street there. I don't know if it's Veronica Street.
I don't know the name of it.
So it's Church Avenue between Bedford and Rogers Avenue. That's on Monday. This Monday, of course, from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be candles available. If you don't have candles, you can bring a candle. But if you don't have candle, there will be candles available, right, Melissa?
Yes, they will. If you don't have candles, there will be candles available. So you don't necessarily have to walk with a candle. We'll have candles there. I think we're supposed to be getting some placard with the little girl with Adriana picture.
Yeah, with her photograph and everything.
We're supposed to be getting some flyers with Adriana with the little girl, her photograph and stuff. So come out there and join us. It's not anything big. We just decided we just wanted to do something because we're here in Brooklyn. We see New Jersey had their little gathering there. I saw the people in Queens. I must say shout out to the people in Queens. They had a little gathering there yesterday as well. We're going to do ours Monday. Of course, we're on Church Avenue. I'll try to post an exact address on my page when I come off. We're going to have
there's no address per se, but on Church Avenue.
On Church Avenue between Bedford. By the church. What's the name of the church?
Bedford. Yeah, between Bedford and Rogers. You can't miss it.
You can't miss it. The church between Bedford and Rogers.
And you'll see folks here with their Guyanese flags and so forth. And folks will, go there, sing some hymns and whatever else, and walk with your candles. The police, I believe, Melissa, they have been notified as well. Mm-hmm. And go out there. Whatever you wear is okay, but if you could put on something white or whatever, or a black short or a black dress, a black t-shirt, whatever.
Whatever you can wear is fine, because I know some of the people are probably going to be coming from work, so it's fine if you can wear white or black or whatever. Wear white, but if not, you just come with whatever.
Yeah, Melissa, I have a question for you. I'm not sure, Wayne, but my question for you is, as a mother, how do you feel about this gruesome murder of this 11-year-old girl?
Mark, listen, I haven't got around to calling the parents, the little girl parents as yet. Of course, I am behind the scene, pledging my support. Me, Mark, I work. Sometimes I just like to work behind the scenes. So I'm just behind the scene trying to gather. We're trying to print, help print T-shirt. We're gathering water and snacks for protesters because we don't. This is not business as usual. This is definitely not business as usual, and enough is enough. And we are seeing this. We are seeing this through to the end. So the protesters are going to be out there tomorrow. I think they're going in front of the Commissioner of Police office. Talking about the Commissioner of Police, we want him to go as well. We want him.
What Commissioner of Police are you talking about?
Because you're right.
Commissioner of Police in Guyana right now, it looks as though Mr. McBean is the Commissioner of Police, because he's doing all the work, everything.
No, because you see, that is what they do. That is what they do, Mark. Because McBean is probably one of the only trusted, high-ranking police officer in the Guyana police force now. So because the Guyana police force has lost all credibility. They got none. Nobody don't believe nothing that comes from the Guyana police force, just like how they don't believe nothing that comes from this government. Everything is we don't believe. We have no faith. We have no trust. We don't believe in the Guyana police force. Unfortunately for us, McBean is one of those police officers that is well respected, that probably the only police officer that get in little integrity left in the Guyana police force that people can look up to and depend on and can believe and trust his word. So that is why I was saying I don't know if you saw the post I made yesterday, and I was saying to him, this is not your fight. Let Bladom and Caesar and Hickins and all them corrupt one that's been taking millions and millions of dollars for years to cover up crimes and putting innocent people in jail. Mark, the amount of things that these people have done to the citizens of Guyana, it's a love. You see, if some of these things should only come to light, the amount of wickedness and vindictiveness and evilness that some of them did to citizens, did to people back home. It's crazy if you hear some of these stories, Mark, and it's true. So let them come out, let them evil and wicked one come out. They're accustomed to covering, they're accustomed to taking money and covering up crimes and collecting bribe and knocking glass with this big businessman, allowing them to get away with murder, selling the soul for a few dollars. Let them come out and speak to the public. We don't ever see McBean. Why are we seeing McBean now? McBean, you stay and sit on your desk and do your work and you do your job. We want you behind the scene. You do your job behind the scene. Let they come and face the fire. Let Bladom and Caesar and all of them and Hickins come and we near a war. We see Hickins people push out the neck yet, not even a nose, not the ears, not the eye, not the tongue, nothing. We can't find Hickins.
And unless, Wayne, have you seen the Minister of Home Affairs? Have you seen him too? Have you heard anything from him?
I have not heard anything. I don't believe that there was a press release by the Minister of Home Affairs. He has been missing in action, Mark.
He has been missing in action. The ladies, remember the ladies' arms of the PPP have been missing in action, including the first lady. We haven't heard anything from her. They're gonna come tomorrow and tell me she did sick and thing. You know the usual. Anyways,
the usual indeed. Wayne, any final stuff from Melissa before she goes? Because we pull her out of the salon.
Look, outside of thanking Melissa for coming on this evening, I would just like to summarize everything that Melissa would have just uttered, okay, which are all facts to the Guyanese people. What you need, essentially, is a new government. That is what you need, okay? And then you're going to see these changes that the people are looking for. A new government in Guyana is needed.
Not just, Mark, Wayne, let me just say this. I know we keep saying that we need a new government, but we just don't need a new government. We need a new functioning government, and we need constitutional reform, because we need our judicial system. We need to be independent, first and foremost. We need constitutional reform, Wayne. I don't think that we as Guyanese, and I say this as well, I've been, although people try to label me as a politician all the time, I've been saying for years, I'm not a politician. I am not a politician. I'm an activist.
I'll see you on Monday and remind you.
I'm an activist. What I'm saying, I'm just want to say, let me just finish. We are safe with no government unless there is constitutional reform. So we need a working government, a functional government, and we, the Guyanese people, need constitutional reform, and we need those biometrics before the next election.
But Melissa, working and functioning government, you need to have competent people in order for that to be executed. So that's
competent and qualified. Not just that, but you need that's another thing. You can't put your father there because he's your father when you only know for make egg ball and the job require him cooking chow mein and fried rice and chicken. It can't work. So you're right. We need competent, we need qualified people.
But that's well put and well said, Melissa.
Competent and qualified indeed, and constitutional reform. And even with constitutional reform, if you don't have people with good hearts and so forth, they'll ignore the rule of law and all these manner of things. It's happening right now. So, Melissa, we are preparing. We are going to see each other this Monday. hopefully.
We're gonna see each other on Monday at the candlelight. I'm begging you people, please come out. It's from 6. It's not a long. We're just gonna be out there for like an hour or two. We're gonna, gather, give the family our sympathy. We're gonna sing a few hymns. We don't know, of course, none of us there will know Adriana personally, but our prayers are with her mom, her dad, her family, her friends, her classmates, her teacher. I know that, listen, Mark, this one, everybody felt it. We really and truly felt it. We felt it. I mean, we were sad when the protesters died, and we were sad when the young man killed the young lady, then the other young man that killed the entire family after she was on Facebook pleading for Mark. It's too much. Guyana is in a crisis. Guyana is in a crisis. Guyana is in a crisis, and we cannot depend on this government. We cannot depend on the police force. We cannot depend on this judiciary. Every single system is broken, needs fixing, and it's just a mess.
It's going to take some time to fix everything, though, because it took some time breaking down everything.
True.
Mm-hmm. It's going to take some time, Melissa, but look, like we spoke about earlier, we have the right people in place, the qualified people in place. This can be done.
Hopefully it's done. Hopefully we see a change. Hopefully this situation open, a lot of eyes. Hopefully we see our leaders coming together to work together for a better Guyana. Hopefully they can tell us something before the next election. Hopefully we have a functioning and working an opposition that we can depend on. I'm just hoping and praying that these things happen, or these things are fixed within the next couple of months, because we are in a crisis. We are in a shit show. And we are dealing with leaders that don't give a shit about me or you, about children, about nothing, about nobody other than the pockets. Mark, I know you don't cuss. I try my best not to.
You probably saw my facial expression. Oh, no, but that's okay. I curse a few times in Cam Street. I curse a couple of times.
But and I want to say this. I want to encourage everyone to come out to the candlelight vigil on Church Avenue. The address is 2530 Church Avenue. The venue is the Holy Cross Catholic Church on Church Avenue. Come out. It's located between the avenues of Rogers and Bedford. Come out. Melissa's going to be there. I am planning to be there on Monday. So please come out.
The address, and thanks, Melissa. The address is right in front on the pavement. This candlelight vigil is going to be not in the church, mind you, but it's the address that you gave is where the church is.
Right in front of the church. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And Wayne, I just want to thank you so much. You pulled me out of the streets, man. I was busy getting some stuff done, and I have no regrets. Whenever you call upon me to give a helping hand, to be on your program, it's always a pleasure. I think our operator Lemon wanted to let us see this video here with what the family members were actually saying for an independent. So if Lemon can play that, but let me just take this time out to thank you again, and to thank all of your listeners as well, until probably Monday evening. But if something else pops up over the weekend, Wayne, and we got to do another live, then we will do it. But thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for coming on.
Go when you're ready. You can speak loud, right?
Good afternoon. So I'm calling for an independent investigation. I don't need the Guyana police force. I need the FBI to come and investigate this matter. That will bring a lot of closure to me and bring justice to me and my husband and my family and my daughter and my son. We've lost all confidence in the Guyana police force because from the inception they tried to tell us that my niece left the hotel, which she never did. They showed us footage that my sister told them it was not my niece, and yet they released a statement saying that my niece left in a vehicle. So we cannot trust them anymore to investigate, and we do not trust them. So we need the FBI to come in and do a thorough investigation, and our family needs justice.
All right, so Mr. Ali, I know that you said you stand with this family and that you are willing, you're going to leave no stone unturned. And so as a family, we're calling on you. We're asking that you bring in the FBI, request that the FBI comes here and do the investigation for young Adriana Young, who tragically was murdered. As my siblings, my sisters said before, we have no trust in the Guyana police force. We do not think that they're competent enough to carry out this investigation. And so we are calling on you to stick to your word and support this family by inviting the FBI to come and do the investigation for us. Thank you.
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that
Mr. Ali, I saw you blocking road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling
Mr.
you.
Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we gotta put our position aside.
No, this is not position.
No, we gotta put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You gotta understand, even those persons who were traveling, yes, they were inconvenienced, but they understood the reason. They understood the reason. We understand the inconvenience.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We will be going to around 9 p.m. this evening, okay? We will be going to around 9 p.m. this evening. And look, like that aunt or the aunts and the mother in general, what they would have just said and everything. Look, Irfan Ali and his cabal, okay, is guilty of almost turning over the vehicle of a sitting minister at the time out there at the Marriott, right? He was protesting. He was protesting because he wanted the evil PPP cabal to sit in government. Well, have they not gotten their opportunity for approximately, the last 5 years there? And you guys are seeing the outcome. We're living it, right, brothers and sisters? We are all living it. We're seeing what is happening in the country right now. All right, that being said, equally, does young Adriana Young's family, don't they have the right to protest for justice for a murdered young 11-year-old? Under your government in Guyana, don't they also should be allowed the latitude of that right to protest and express themselves? Well, here, I'm going to say this to the Guyanese people. I'm not condoning anything, but I am saying this. You have a right to protest, okay? You have a right to protest. Protesting is a right, all right? And listen, the Guyanese people on the ground right now is facing a great injustice. Okay? Not just by the police force, but by the government of Guyana. Let me say this. You guys watch Barry Jagdeo press conference, right? Where he said he's not buying what the police is putting out there right now. Barry Jagdeo, you have bought, sold, bought again, okay? And now is election time, trying to sell the Guyana police force and separate your government from the Guyana police force. Get out of here. We're not listening to that, okay? The Guyana police force is an arm of the PPPC, and they go together as one, okay? Shanette Alicia is saying the PPP must go. Yes, the PPP will be gone. The people will vote y'all out. The Guyana police force will be reformed, okay? Honorable Mr. Paul Slow, please prepare. Help us, please. Help us to repair this fallen Guyana police force, okay? Mr. McBean is there, okay? Work with him and the few good police officers that are there. And let's get this thing done. Let's reform the Guyana police force. The new government that comes into place, please, if the salaries need to be raised a bit, please raise it a bit so that these police officers are not going to be corrupt, are not going to be taking bribes. Because what happened in front of that hotel there in Region 3 depicts that, you know, money was passed. All right? Money was passed. And I agree with what Mark and Melissa had to say earlier. I believe that everybody, all top government officials, all top officials in the Guyana police force, their phones should be confiscated, okay, and put up for review. Pull all the data. Pull all the data. Nobody should be removing any data from their phone. It all needs to be pulled for forensic investigations. All right? This is unfair what is happening to the Guyanese people. It looks like if they're just a flock sitting there and the owners or the masters are just looking at them and say, okay, we're going to slaughter this one today. We're going to slaughter this one Thursday. All right? We just lost 2 young men in Linden. Okay? Both of them to gun violence. We just lost 3 beautiful women on the Linden Highway to what? To gun violence. I've been talking about guns all the time. As a society in Guyana, we are not prepared for this. Don't worry about the U.S. Second Amendment. The U.S. is a first world country. And even as a first world country, they experience a tremendous amount of death by firearms. We don't want to change our culture in Guyana to match anybody else's culture. And that's why we all need to get together, come together, and make sure that there is a new government in Guyana. I don't care if there's a national government. Look, if there's a national government, it must not include Barry Jagdeo, it must not include Anil Nandalal, and it must not include Irfan Ali. Some people love to make the excuse for Irfan Ali, oh, he can do better, but Bharat. No. We are all men here. We are all men here. Don't make any excuse for this installed president. He is equally culpable in what's happening in Guyana. He is equally culpable with what is happening in Guyana. And he should be held responsible. Look at Clifton Hicken. Just receive a promotion, official commissioner of police. Look at his record. Look at his character. And you measure him up to somebody like a Paul Slow, who would have never got that opportunity to ascend to commissioner of police. Why? Because he was doing that is right. It paints a picture of what Guyana really is. It paints a picture of what the PPP is. A murderous cabal. And let me say something. Some of you in Guyana are deeply sinister. Okay? I saw a post from a young Indo-Guyanese just putting down young Adriana Young. Oh, she was at the hotel for this, she was at the hotel for that. You guys have no feelings. You guys have no feelings, no dignity. no type of respect. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Shameful. But again, I must commend the community, Region 3 community that came out. When I looked, I saw a mixture of people. All right? I want to say something. You see those 6 ethnic groups that are in Guyana? Right? I know many are not confident, but I'm going to say this to you guys, all 6 ethnic groups in Guyana. I am very confident that you guys can all live together. You guys need a proper government. You guys need a government that is not stoking racism. You need a government that is not stoking racism. Where are the police and the GDF officers that are supposed to be raping mothers and daughters? Where are they? Where are the rapes? Oh, instead of that, we have sacrifices. Oh yes, I'm going to go there. We have sacrifices. To those in the international community, you had full coverage. You had full coverage. You had an opportunity to see exactly what happened. Okay? Again, people, when I speak of sacrifice, that is my own opinion. That's just an opinion of mine. It can be a possibility. Okay? It can be a possibility. It's not the opinion of Ben Chaparage or anything of that nature. Wayne Caesar. Okay? And I know many of you in the audience, believe that the same may have happened in this case based on what you have seen thus far. But of course, an autopsy will be done. All right? An autopsy will be done. But we need change. You people can live together. It is your country. Okay? Guyana is not going to be Indianized or it's not going to be Africanized. No. Guyana has 6 ethnic groups. All 6 ethnic groups shall be respected under our motto: one people, one nation, one destiny. Okay? The Cooperative Republic of Guyana that belongs to the people of Guyana. All right? That's going to be it moving forward. We know we're dealing with a tragic situation here at the moment, a very, very tragic situation. And it's funny that this is going to happen right after we have buried 2 brothers in Linden. Okay? Right after we've buried them. Also to further put icing on the cake of destruction, 3 women killed on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. It's sheer bloodshed. We're seeing it, right, brothers and sisters? We're seeing it. It's like every week. We are never having an uneventful week in Guyana. There is something every single week. There is death on the roads, on the highways and byways in Guyana every week. The only thing we can do is deem Guyana a cursed cowboy country at the present moment. And we need to clean up, brothers and sisters. All of us. All of you guys here tonight, you all have a part to play. All of you are significant to the change that's going to come in Guyana. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not playing your part. Just you being on this live and other lives contributing, you're doing what you need to do. Continue. Let's continue as a unit right here every weekend to bell the cat and make the changes that we want in Guyana come to fruition Brothers and sisters, like Melissa was saying earlier, and I chimed in and talked about the competency that we're looking for in candidates, in our members of parliament. When I talk about confidence and competencies in our members of parliament, you guys must be able to go to parliament and vote into law where you guys, the politicians, the member of parliament, must be audited every 2 years, checking your income against your assets. You guys have to be there and want to vote to put checks and balances on yourselves. Ain't no more hypocrisy. We don't want any more hypocrisy in Guyana. We want proper checks and balances. The judiciary must be allowed to be independent in both fact and appearance. That's the changes that we are looking for. There need to be electoral reform at GCOM. The GCOM chair need to be removed with immediate effect. She's not effective. You can't vote one way all the time and expect to be effective. You have to learn how to be objective. She's not. She's not. And that young man, the GCOM council, Court de Silva, new government, you need to reinstate him with lost pay. You need to reinstate him with lost pay, giving him back retroactive his pay, salary. He refused to go along with what they wanted to do. He wanted to do that was right. And he paid the ultimate price, losing his job. That's what this regime is about. It's either you're done or you're out. One of the two. And you young policemen, when they try to tell you, hey, we want you to be done with this, you tell them, no, I am out. Trust me, that salary as a policeman, as a police officer, is not enough for you to give away your innocence and your integrity. Trust me. It is not enough. You guys need to think. Think about yourself. Think about your character. I want to say two things that we talked about on this show in the past weeks. I don't know if you guys could recall. When I said, parents, hold on to your children. Hold on to your children. Another statement that I would have made. I said to the parents and families of the officers that are in the Guyana police force, speak to your children. Speak to your family members who are in the force. Tell them when they go there, they need to treat the Guyanese citizens with dignity and respect. It's obvious that some didn't listen. It is obvious that some didn't listen when I'm talking about the police here. Okay? Because a little girl getting out of a pool and walking right around the corner to get a ban should not disappear. There's no parent that's going to anticipate that, or no grandparent that's going to anticipate that. She went right around the corner. In a hotel, in an establishment. The family is on point for calling for an FBI investigation into this. We're going to find out whether CCTV cameras was working or not. And here, to the people of Region 3, you don't have to take what I'm saying. But I'm saying this. That hotel has been a sore eye to your region. That hotel has been a slaughterhouse. Okay? Do not allow it to be rebuilt. That there, thank you, Lemon, should not be rebuilt. That right there should not. It's a sore eye. Okay? It has hurt. It has hurt the community. People always expect that these things here, these hotels and these type of things bring revenue into a community. Yes, if done the right way. And you don't need too many of them. Because what are you trying to tell your people when every corner has a hotel? What are you trying to say to your people? Okay? What are you really trying to say to your people? Again, I call on parents, especially young females. But I must say this, males too, because they're doing all kind of things with people, young male children. Hold your children. Like that aunt say, hug your children. Look, I live all the way in North America. I find myself with what would have happened to this young lady, hugging my children, appreciating them even more. Okay? You got to hug your children. You got to love your children. There is a lot of evil in this world. Hug and love your children. But here, what we going to do together? All of us here, we're going to do it together. We're going to bring about that change in Guyana. We're going to remove that evil veil from our country. Oh, yes. Oh, we are going to remove evil from Guyana. Okay? It is evil right now. People disappearing right and left. And that commando, they ought to be for the investigations into that commando because he was there, whether in charge or whether playing a secondary role, he was there for the Henry boys. I understand that he was there for Madia also. This is concerning. This is concerning, and one consistent person is this commando. It's this commando. He must be investigated. His phone must be thoroughly checked. You know, this is shameful. And as Mr. Benchcop would have uttered earlier, his phone should be checked to see if there was any communication between him, the owner of the hotel, him, and the president of Guyana, the installed president of Guyana. We need to see these links. Melissa said, that's not going to be done. Well, I hope that it is done. Let's just go ahead and open the Pandora box and let out everything. Let's just solve everything one time and done. Right? Because we know that this runs deep and it runs in very high places. All right? It runs deep and in very, very high places. Oh, the death of Ariana Young is not going to go in vain. No, it will not go in vain. We ought to make sure that it brings about change. It brings about good change for our country. You're going to come and you're going to tell the family that they are, people need to move along. It's frustrating, that the streets are blocked and all of that stuff. And you, wait. Let me see. I think I have your note here somewhere. Where you said to the people that if they don't, you feel like if these protests is politically motivated, and if they don't stop it, you're going to take action. Man, look, the Guyanese people are in a very, very bad mood right now, Irfan Ali. They're in, just like how you was in a terrible mood in front of the Marriott when you all almost turned over that sitting minister vehicle. The Guyanese people are even more angered because under the watch of your government, okay, a young 11-year-old was murdered. Okay? Murdered under your government. Look at the things, Irfan Ali, that would have happened in this 5 years under this PPP regime compared to the 5 years under the coalition. Come on, it is obvious. It is obvious. By the time you guys are finished butchering Guyanese, we're not going to have people left because it's every week. It's every week 4, 5, 6, 7 people dying. Nobody going to die of old age or complications of old age. You guys are going to butcher all the people out, man. Come on, Guyanese, wake up. Wake up. Don't make this a race issue. This is an issue on issues. This election must be an election on issues and facts. Again, let's not sit a government on propaganda. It must be facts. The death of young Adriana, the murder, correct myself, the murder of young Adriana Young is a fact. It's not a made-up story. She was here, and now she's gone. We're coming down to closing, but I must say, I was so hurt, guys, when I saw that father jumped into that pool for his baby. I was hurt. Irfan Ali, did you see that? Did you see that, Irfan Ali? Barajagio, did you see that? You came out and you showed some young girl children and you said those were your children. Would you like one of them to be floating across a swimming pool like that? Life.
That's what the police do. The police guilty. The police guilty. The police guilty. The police guilty. Are you guilty, man? Are you doing this, man? Are you doing this? Are you doing?
This family must receive justice, swift justice. Okay? And like we have called for, all on duty, all on sundry on duty at that hotel should be detained. All guests who was present at that hotel should be questioned, leaving all their information, okay, so that the investigations, as they continue, they can be contacted. Okay, all staff, all on sundry on duty from the time that that family got to that hotel, from the time they got to the hotel to until that young girl's body was recovered, should be detained. Somebody will break. And I'm telling you this. If you know something, say something. Okay? Give this family their justice. Give this family their justice. Adriana Young should have been with us this evening. She should have been in the loving arms of her mother and father, not laying lifeless in a mortuary. Okay? She should have been with her family. So to all those who know something, I urge you to come forward, whether anonymously, however it is, come forward and help with this investigation so that we can bring some measure of closure. There would never be full closure. Let me say this. There would never be full closure. She was here on this earth for 11 years. She was here. So there will never be full closure. Her parents will always miss her. And they're going to always think, what if? She had so much life ahead of her. She was so smart. Okay? She had potential to become anything that she wanted to become in this world. And you have taken that away. You have taken that away from her. Again, to the family, we at Bench Cup Radio, again, we send our full condolences to you. We, ask that we know there's an autopsy upcoming. We ask the community to continue to support this family. I know that the listeners and viewers here will execute their duty when it comes to supporting the family. Yes, Dr. Gary L. Collins, the Chief Medical Examiner of the state of Delaware, will be on the ground sometime tomorrow in Guyana. And thereafter, at some point, the autopsy on Adriana Young, will be conducted. Look at her. Look at the photo of her. Beautiful. Full of life. Full of life. It takes guts. It takes evil. It takes some sinister individual or individuals. I'm not going to just say one individual. It could be individuals. Time will tell. To snuff her young life out of her. And then the condition of this young woman's body when she was recovered. My brothers and sisters, tonight, I thank you guys so much for joining. I love each and every one of you. I ask at this time that you continue to keep this family in your prayer. Yes, Carla Madu, the worst is yet to come, because one of the things that Mark said, that there's a chance that once they do this autopsy, it can be gruesome when we find out about this young lady's cause of death. But in the interim, brothers and sisters, let's continue to seek justice for Adriana Young. The Guyanese people have a right to, protest and let their voices be heard. Again, I call on law enforcement to allow them that latitude, to voice their opinions and to go out there and let their voices be heard. Again, it's 3 minutes to 9. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining this evening. Again, continue to keep the family in prayer, particularly the mother and the father. I want to give a big, big shout out to Miss Batson. I want to give a shout out also to Adriana's aunt. We are very, very thankful for Travis Chase and Sherry Duncan on the ground following this story. All the individuals who would have done lives and linked into Bench Up Radio, amongst other broadcasters. We thank you so much. And again, I want to say thanks to all the social media presenters who have picked up this story. Okay? Until next weekend, guys. Love you, and over to you. Good night.
Go when you're ready. You can speak loud, right?
Good afternoon. So I'm calling for an independent investigation. I don't need the Guyana police force. I need the FBI to come and investigate this matter. That will bring a lot of closure to me and bring justice to me and my husband and my family and my daughter and my son. We've lost all confidence in the Guyana police force because from the inception, they tried to tell us that my niece left the hotel, which she never did. They showed us footage that my sister told them it was not my niece, and yet they released a statement saying that my niece left in a vehicle. So we cannot trust them anymore to investigate, and we do not trust them. So we need the FBI to come in and do a thorough investigation, and our family needs justice.
All right, so Mr. Ali, I know that you said you stand with this family and that you are willing, you're going to leave no stone unturned. And so as a family, we are calling on you. We're asking that you bring in the FBI, request that the FBI comes here and do the investigation for young Adriana Young, who tragically was murdered. As my siblings, my sisters said before, we have no trust in the Guyana police force. We do not think that they are competent enough to carry out this investigation. And so we are calling on you to stick to your word and support this family by inviting the FBI to come and do the investigation for us. Thank you.
Anything else you want to say before we go? All right. Thank you.
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that affects
Mr. Ali, I saw you block your road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling
Mr.
you.
Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we gotta put our position aside.
No, this is not position.
No, we gotta put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You gotta understand, even those persons who were traveling, yes, they were inconvenienced, but they understood the reason. They understood the reason. We understand the inconvenience.
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that affects
Mr. Ali, I saw you block your road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling
Mr. Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we gotta put our position aside.
No, this is not position.
No, we gotta put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You gotta understand, even those persons who were traveling, yes, they were inconvenienced, but they understood the reason. They understood the reason. We understand the inconvenience.
You're illegal. Direct the police. Who are you?
the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows. One set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You hiding corruption inside the cup, look how we even set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how we even set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1,500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner.
Persons can do so peacefully, and they can, but blocking the road for hours is something that
Mr. Ali, I saw you blocking road. Yes, Mr. Ali.
I'm just telling
Mr.
you.
Ali, there are videos with you protesting, you being a scrape and a tug. Mr. Ali, this is not, listen, sometimes we gotta put our position aside.
This is not position.
No, we gotta put our position aside and place ourselves into people's shoes. You gotta understand, even those persons who were traveling, yes, they were inconvenienced, but they understood the reason. They understood the reason. We understand the inconvenience.